What is a good man? Hey guys, it's Andy with Mindset Matters More, and I want to talk about it. So, I am going through a new course for how to coach men. And in this coaching class, one of the assertions that is made by the teacher is that there's a difference between being a good man and being good at being a man. And I just thought, hey, what the hell does it even mean to be a good man these days? And obviously, I'm going to learn over the next couple weeks or so what it is that they're talking about, how they define it, or what they are, how they interpret the distinction between being a good man and being good at being a man. And one of the things that I was thinking is like, how do I define what a good man is? And the truth is, I don't know. Like, either you're a good person or you're not a good person. And that's kind of just how I've always looked at human beings is like, are you somebody who's good? But I look at it through the lens of, are you good to me? And are you good to people around you? Not whether you have values that are, are you a provider? Are you somebody who's like these antiquated things that, like, I believe are associated with men, right? It's generally just like, how do you treat people? And by extension, it's like, okay, you can be a good person, but you know what? Like, you are not a hard worker. Like, you can be a good person, but you're just not clean. Like, you can be a good person. Like, so it's really just about your interaction with like other human beings and how that is. But I think the piece that might be missing for me is that, like, those things, like, you're not a hard worker, you're not clean, you zone out with, food, sex, video games, or whatever it may be, is that there's an underlying issue going on with you. So while you might be a good man, you might not be good at being a man. So I started thinking about this stuff, really about how I view men in general. And, do I even think I can help men? And I've had clients who've been men, and but it's always been like the surface, like, hey, let's get you to, lose the weight that you need to, build the habits that you need to, rather than exploring the manhood behind it and the implications of, sociologically, how is it that you're viewed, in your family, how is it that you're viewed, or the experiences that have shaped you as a man, how has that played a part in where you are today versus where you want to be? I've never really thought about that. So I thought that this course was going to be pretty freaking awesome. And it's already like opened my mind to different ideas, because one of the things that, like, inherently I know that talking about your feelings is not really a manly thing to do. Okay, let me just say that's just how I kind of always understood it, like, terms like man up. And I honestly, I'm surrounded by people who are in touch um with their emotions. Like, my husband and I, we talk about our emotions. Like, my dad talks about how he feels. Like, I talk to men about their feelings, like, just because, like, I don't know, people just find that I'm easily talked to about their emotions, maybe. And the thing is, it's like I'm also participating in things where you are already on a journey with your emotions, feelings, and brain thoughts, that you have to be able to talk about these things and, look into the mirror and say, yes, this is who I am, these are my flaws, this is how I've been, I'm trying to evolve. And with that evolution comes with exploring what your feelings are. So I kind of live in this bubble where, people, men and women, talk about their emotions very freely. But, I've always grown up knowing that somewhere in the universe that this is like, not a safe space for men to talk about their feelings, not a safe place for men to describe the the way that they are living on the inside, because like even statistics like suicide rates and um the amount of violence that men have to go through, and the abuse and stuff like that, that is boggling when you look up these statistics or whatever. But it's like, okay, so I understand that men kind of live in this separate reality, but women also live in another sort of dog eat dog, um like reality, that women are preyed upon, women are essayed. Ugh, I don't know, like, I hope I don't get banned for that word, but whatever. Like, women are essayed more frequently. Like, it honestly, I think I couldn't name anybody off the top of my head that's a woman that has not been essayed in one way or another. Now, men, most of them haven't been essayed that I know of, okay? So let's just caveat that I know of. But these, like, it's is it because they're not, or is it because they don't talk about it? Either way, there is like a different reality that men and women are living in, neither one of them being better than the other, but equally being brutal in their own way. And the fact that, in my opinion, like, men not being able to talk about their feelings is just fucking wild. Again, it's colored by the fact that, like, I live in a world where men talk about their feelings, where men can express themselves. Men do express themselves. And maybe I'm also imposing my own vision, like, hey, he said this about his feelings, and that's like amazing. And maybe I'm also applying a little bias that, like, hey, he's talked about his feelings this much, that's amazing, good for him. And really, they need to go a lot deeper than the, surface feelings that, like, are getting talked about with me. So there's a lot that happens, but I do think that this idea that, like, men and women are experiencing very traumatic realities because of gender is very real. Um, but I do think that, you know, it's becoming more commonplace for men to open up. I do think that that is happening. I do think that is a reality, just by the sheer fact that there are places like, my course, that are talking about it through, different groups that are happening, that men are having other places where they can dig in and really talk about these things that are inside of them, so that these safe spaces are being created and are happening. So I do see that that is very empowering. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's not safe for men to talk about their feelings still? Do you think that men talk about their feelings at all? Do you think that there's still more work to do? What do you think? Let me know, you guys, okay? Love you guys. Bye.